Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday and that your motivational Monday was just what you needed. Hope everybody had a great Monday. It was rough going back to work. I am sure after being off for vacation, turn that up, for a couple of days. Did everybody get into the group with Lynn? I got in yesterday. I'm excited about the 4-day challenge. And here's my lovely co-host. Let me add you. And we get started. Good morning, Lynn.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I am doing good. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I just got to get some things together, but I'm good for the most part.
I know, honey. Trust me. I know the feeling. So I am good. Good morning, Misty. How you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time. I hope you're doing good. Lynn, I have the quote of the day. Did you have one? Because I have one.
No,
What
go
you got?
ahead. You good?
We'll read both of them. Go ahead if you got one.
No. I have my notes. I'm ready to go on my info today. So you, yeah, you go ahead and say that. Hey, James, what's up?
Good morning, James. So this one is the 3 life. I actually have 2, so I'm going to read 2.
Okay.
It says 3 life rules. If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask the answer, the answer will always be no. And if you don't step forward, you will always be in the same place. Wow. And I think that is so great for Take Action Tuesday. Now, the author to that is unknown, so I can't tell you who wrote it, but I just felt like, well, I'm glad. Thank you, Miss. I'm glad you're able to watch. But I think those 3 life rules are really great for Take Action Tuesday, because if we don't step forward, we will always be in the same place. You have to go after what you want. And I think that is so true about our life and finances, because this is what we can do all day. We can complain about our situation all day.
All day.
But until we start asking questions and do the work, and step into the work, then we're going to be right where we're going to be. I promise you, it's never going to change. If you don't do something different, you're always going to be sitting where you're sitting right now, doing exactly what you're doing right now. Always. Don't you agree, Lynn?
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect tie-in to what I want to talk about today with our finances. So if you have anything else to add, you want to go ahead and add that before I jump in?
No.
Okay.
You ready, girl?
Cool. Because I'm on fire today, guys, because I'm thinking about in our investing or the lack thereof. I've already given you the 7 types of investor on a different video. But what I want to talk about today, and what I'll be talking about for the next several days, are the different mistakes. What are some of those common mistakes that investors make, so that you're no longer making those same mistakes? And the one mistake that I want to talk about today, and I have my notes, guys. So if you see me look down, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I tell you everything, right? As quickly as I possibly can. Now, I won't be able to get into every single detail, but I'm going to give it to you to the point where you get the gist of it, and you'll be able to take action today, on Take Action Tuesday. So the number one mistake that investors make, first of all, ground zero. Good morning, Sarah. The number 0 mistake is not investing. But
she said the 0. We ain't even got the number 1 yet, Lynn.
You hadn't even left the starting gate. Now 0. You don't even invest. But the number 2 thing is failing to stick with the appropriate strategy, right?
Yes.
You have to have the appropriate strategy in your investing. And what do I mean by that? Why do investors not stick with the strategy? It's this thing, guys. It's this right here. It's our brain. It's that internal or innate instinct that we have in us. It's that mentality that was put in us. I call it the caveman mentality, right? Cavemen do one of 2 things. We have our endorphins and I don't want to get too deep down into that. Because anatomy and physiology is also my thing. But in looking at that, we had that fight or flight response, right? It's that fear or greed response when we take it and connect it to investing. So we get like this. Say, for instance, we have this $100 stock that we've purchased, right? It's $100 per share, and we've purchased several shares of this stock. So if this stock is $100 when we bought it, what happens to it when we see it go down to $99 when we're checking in through the cyclical?
They want to cash out.
The next day we see it drop down to $98. What do? We want to cash out, right? And we have this fear. It's called myopic loss aversion. We see it in the short term, guys. We are afraid. We're fearful of the fact that we're losing, even at the detriment of our long-term strategy. So when we see stock, we purchased this $100 stock. We now see it drop into $99. We get scared. So our immediate reaction when we get scared is to be, oh my gosh, I need to sell, right? So we're just like that caveman. That caveman, if he's afraid, right, that he's going to be attacked, what does he do? He runs, right? He's running away from whatever wildlife it may be out there. Or if we're not fearful, we get on the other side of the coin. We get greedy. And that's the overconfident side of it. We get into this game, guys, and it's like the caveman. The caveman goes out there, he goes on the prowl, he hunts down the saber-toothed tiger, right? He kills the tiger, he skins him, and he's walking around in his fur. Right? We get to that point, guys, and in the stock market, we get overconfident. We get into a time within the stocks where it's continuing to grow. We are seeing double-digit gains, growth in the stocks that we've purchased, and we become overly confident in those purchases, right? So then it becomes an opportunity for us to where we do the exact opposite of myopic loss aversion. We get too confident and we stay in the stock too long. See, if you look at the history of the stock market, you'll see that there are telltale signs of when things are going to happen. Think back to 2000, the technology collapse in the stocks. Or if you think back to 2008, when we had that huge economic downturn that impacted many things, whether it was housing, you name it, there was a huge impact. So there are telltale signs from history as far as our investing patterns or behaviors that we should be following that we typically don't follow. So this is error number one for many investors, right? We either get fearful or we get greedy. We're risk averse. So we have that myopic loss aversion, or we're overconfident. So what you have to do now is develop a strategy that is going to work for you. And by developing a strategy, developing an investment strategy that works for you guys, and you hear me say this all the time, is you have to have goals. And oftentimes when investors set goals, they set goals for one of four reasons. And I'm going to tell you what these four reasons are. You might want to write these four reasons down. What are the four reasons that investors invest, right?
And good morning. Let's say good morning to Alicia and Eric. Good morning, you guys. Thank y'all for joining.
Thank you so much for joining, and please share the information because we need to do better with our investments. And this is number one. How do we get started? So looking at that, what are the one of four goals that most investors need to do? The number one goal is for growth, right? Why do you invest? Because you want your money to grow, right? At the bare bones minimum, you want your money to be able to beat inflation. And what do I mean by that? $1 today is not going to buy the same amount of things that $1 of tomorrow, right? Of a few years in the future. Or if we even look at the monies in the 70s, $1 in the 70s is not $1 today. So we know that inflation is a huge component of our investing. So when we look at this, what we need to now determine is if we do want growth, what is reasonable growth for us as far as our investing is concerned, okay? So we have to keep pace with inflation. And when I say keep pace with inflation, it's almost impossible to know what the future value of $1 is going to be. But history again tells us, guys, we need to look at our history because that gives us an opportunity to predict now some trends, right? Some trends that are going to happen in the next few years. So if we look at inflation over time, on average, inflation has been about 3%. So you should be getting at the bare bones minimum, at least 3% growth in your investments. See, putting it in a bank is not going to do it. You are lucky to get 1% at a bank right now. Putting it in a CD or certificate of a deposit is not going to do it. You are lucky to get 2% in a CD. You won't even beat inflation. So guys, looking at investing and looking at different opportunities to invest is going to help you as far as growth. So that's the number one, right? Growth is one of the 4 reasons that investors invest. The number 2 reason is cash flow, right? Why are you investing? Because you want to be able to You want to have a retirement portfolio that's going to last as long as you last. You want to be able to pull down monies from this portfolio that's going to support you as long as you live.
Right.
So oftentimes when people are investing, that's a goal. So you need to be mindful of your situation and what your goal is. This is the reason why I preach goals, guys. You have to give your money an assignment. And if you don't assign your money, then someone else will, because they're always in your pockets after what you have. So you need to figure out for you, as far as investing is concerned, what are those things you need to do? So goal number 1, you have to have a growth goal, or it's for cash flow. Or number 3 is a combination of the 2. You want your money to grow and you want cash flow from that opportunity. See, that's where the majority of investors are. And that's where the majority of investors should be for the most part, right? You do want your money to grow and you do want to be able to have that cash flow so that you can draw down the funds that you need. And that's one of the things I used to say, guys. I even remember this as a kid. One of the things I always used to say is, I need to have me enough, but I didn't know right. I used to say, I need to have enough money in the bank so that I can draw down on only the interest, right? And leave the rest of the money sitting there all the time. That's what I want to be able to live off. But in my naivety as a child, I wasn't thinking about 1% interest. Think about how much money I would have to have in the bank in order to live off of 1% interest rate.
A lot, right? A lot of zeros.
Right, exactly. And then at that point, once you get beyond those number of zeros, you're not even protected by the FDIC. But that's a completely different conversation, right? So in looking at this, in investing, so we talked about the first 3 were growth, cash flow was number 2. Number 3 was a combination of growth and cash flow. Number 4 is capital preservation. And this one can be very complex, and a lot of people confuse this. They're not completely understanding the concept of capital preservation. And see, that's the mindset I had as a kid. I wanted to preserve all of my capital and be able to live off only the interest of my money that I put in the bank. See, I didn't have a true understanding of investment, for one, nor did I understand how these things called the stock market and all of these other things.
Right.
So when you think about capital preservation, this is saying that you want your money to grow, but you don't want any volatility, right? And what do I mean by volatility? I mean, volatility is simply your money being placed in an investment vehicle that doesn't go down. All it does is go up. Where they do with that at, right?
Right.
So you absolutely, Sarah, you got to do some more research. You have to do this because it takes you to the right person, right? To the right place as far as what you need to do in your investing. And Eric says, I understand because I have the right people around me, but the average Black person doesn't know much about the stock market. The average does not have anyone around them to help them. So where would they start? Well, a great place for them to start, of course, is to do the research. Sarah said it. She said, I got to do some more research, guys. That's the number 1 thing that we have to do. You need to help inform yourself so that you're making the right decisions. And then number 2, Eric, the thing that I say is to simply ask. the types of questions, comments, and concerns that you have, you need to ask. But you need to make sure that you trust the person that you are asking.
Right. Yes.
To ensure, because like I said earlier, guys, there are different opportunities for other people to get. People always are trying to get in your pockets. So you need to understand this for yourself. So number one, there are tons of opportunities for us via your smartphones. You have it in the palm of your hand right now. The number one resource, because there's information everywhere. There are videos on YouTube that you can watch. There are different things that you can do. But if you choose to, I will also be hosting a webinar on From Saver to Investor. That's going to help you to get these bare bones minimum things out of the way so that you can make the best choices as you start to invest. What I don't tell you is what to invest in, but what I do teach you is how to look at an investment and tell you whether or not this is going to be a good investment for you. I'll help you go through the technical analysis of a stock as well as the fundamental sides of the analysis for the business, right? Looking at the balance sheets of a business and all of those different things that you need to do to make sure this is going to be a good investment for you. So I do have a course that gives you the basics around all of this, but you have to do the research. You have to get involved in communities of people that are like-minded or people that think differently from you, because that's going to put you to that next level. Eric says, I have 79 people that work for me, and out of that, 15 are long timers. They know a little about a retirement. So as a people, we don't see the long term. And
we don't think long. They're not thinking long term, Eric. It's their, it's their mindset. They're not thinking, again, they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're not thinking long term.
Right. And it's like my grandpa used to say to us all the time. He said, y'all are the microwave generation. Y'all want it now, right? It's just like that commercial. It's my money and I need it now. Or we go in, we get paid on Friday and it's, oh, I deserve this. I worked hard all week, not thinking about the formula that we shared before. The folks who have money, what do as soon as they get paid? They invest first, they save, then they spend. We do things backwards. We spend first, we pay bills, we go buy, we go do this, we go do that. We don't do anything to invest in ourselves. We don't put any money back for ourselves. Yes, you did work hard, but how much of your money did you keep, right? How much are you keeping? How much are you saving? How much are you investing? How much of your money is working for you rather than you working for your money?
Right. That's right.
So you need to go in and devise a plan, guys. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Devising a plan at the bare bones minimum. Beat inflation with the amount of growth that you're getting as you're investing. So the thing that I want to get across today is having goals that plays a crucial part. But until once you have those goals, now you can set what we call benchmarks. And by setting benchmarks, then you're now getting yourself set up in the right way. And Sarah shared that your colleagues say you're crazy for putting 10% of your 401k, but you think you need to do more. I think about retiring every day. Sarah, you're absolutely, they're the ones who are crazy, right? They're the ones that are crazy if they're not putting at least 10% in their retirement funds. Guys, but I do want to say this. Retirement and starting with your retirement is great, but it needs to go beyond just your retirement fund, because once you get to a point to where your money starts working for you, you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing, right? Because I say this all the time, but I don't think people get it yet. Compound interest is your friend. When that money goes into your account, and I just want you to do this, try it and see. That's all I'm saying, guys. Try it and see. Put your money in the stock market and watch what happens in as little as 7 years. I'll tell you this, when I put my money in the stock market and I started this journey, and then I saw at the end of 7 years, now that my total had gotten to $250,000, and then in the next 7 years, I had doubled that to $500,000. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. right?
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. And it depends. And there are so many other factors that play into that, guys. It's the investment that you're investing in. It's the percent of return. How are they growing? Is it 8% or better, 10%, whatever the case may be? You need to get educated. You need to know what a prospectus is. You need to know what all of these things is that are going to help you decide whether or not your investment vehicle
Right.
that you have chosen is going to work for you. So today, if you walk away with nothing, walk away from this. You must have the appropriate strategy when you are investing and stick to the strategy. Don't
Mm-hmm.
get myopic loss aversion, meaning don't have that short term, oh my gosh, the stock is going down, let me get out mentality. And don't be overconfident as well. Don't think, oh my gosh, the stock is doing great. It's going to do great forever. You have to be mindful of all the key indicators that are playing into that. So as I shared, I will be hosting a Savor to Investor course to help you start doing some of these things. What are those things that you need to start looking at as far as your investments as you're moving forward on this journey? Because it is just the number one opportunity for guys, for us to build wealth and to build a legacy. What legacy are you leaving behind for your children? And no, it's not all about money. No, it's not. But not having money is not good either.
Because
Not
you're
being
keeping the cycle.
now.
You're gonna
Poverty is
keep
of
that
the
cycle
devil.
going.
You hear
Yes,
me?
ma'am.
It is of the
Mm-hmm.
devil. So I'm trying to help you get out of there. And you got to help yourself. Help yourself, folks. There's so much
That's what you do.
information out there. You don't have to stay in the same place that you're in. And it doesn't matter where you are, where you're working, how much you have at this point. You make the
Right.
change that you need to make.
That's right.
It's as
You,
simple as that. I say, yes, it's simple, guys, but it's not easy. Because if it were easy, everyone would be doing it.
yep.
It's
That's right.
simple, but it's not easy. I'm
Yep.
sorry, I may have gone over on my time, JoJo, but I just want to make sure that they got this number one mistake that is most common for investors.
That's okay, because I think people really need to hear this information, because it can be so overwhelming because there's so much information out there. You really don't know where to start reading first. You don't know where to start looking first. And so this at least gives them some stepping stones and some things to look at. I hope you guys signed up for Lynn's 4-day challenge that started on yesterday, right, Lynn?
It started yesterday, but you can still get in, and it will be a continuing rolling challenge. It is called Develop Your Financial Confidence Strategy. It helps you to basically put those things in place so that you can invest or invest better. This is a free 4-day challenge that basically looks at different aspects. Day one was yesterday, laying the foundation. And I talk about goals all the time, guys, but if you don't have an assignment for your money, then your money just flees from you. So take it, put those goals down on paper, join the challenge. Day one was laying the foundation, setting the intentions. There's a workbook that goes along with it that you complete. I've given you step by step the things you need to put in for your short term, for your long term goals, all of that. That's going to help you. Day two is today. It's called Maximize Your Take Home Pay. And this is essentially just giving you an opportunity to look at things differently in what you're doing. How are you capitalizing on the taxes? Because taxes are huge, guys. And
Yep.
the rich have figured this out. It's all a game, guys. This is the money game. They have figured out this game to a T. And this is what I'm trying to help us to get abreast to. This is what we're working towards, getting in and following those same steps that they are. Because it's once you get in and learn about it, it is simply amazing.
And I'm with Sarah. I'm
I've
ready
been
for the
it
next
all
one
the
too,
time.
Sarah.
Yes, Sarah says, thank y'all for taking the time to share with us. I'm on the day 2 of the challenge. Yes, Sarah. And I want in on the next one. Yes. So for those of you who have not joined the challenge, you can join the challenge at bit.ly. Financial confidence strategy. Financial is capitalized. Confidence is capitalized. And so is strategy. So capital FC and a S, Financial Confidence Strategy. You join the challenge and you will be emailed the information. There's also a Facebook group that you join so that we can share any takeaways, any ahas. It's a community. Earlier it was stated, I think, was that Eric, or was it, I don't remember the name of the person who actually stated it, but you have to get in a community of people, guys,
Eric.
that are going to help keep you accountable. And as you're thinking through this, as you're moving forward and propelling yourself in your finances, because it does us absolutely no good to continue to make more money and we're not keeping more of that money. See, and it's the craziest thing in the world, and I don't want to bore you guys with statistics, but I'm a numbers girl, and that's why I do this. But there are so many statistics out there, and they are just simply alarming, especially in the African American community, of the things that we're doing. Guys, we're making more money than ever, but we're continuing to be the largest portion of the economically disadvantaged populations in this country. It makes absolutely no sense for this mentality to continue. And it's not everybody. So don't get me wrong. Not all African Americans are doing this. No, but this is what the statistics are showing. This is the data they're sharing. So, and in that sense, my assignment is to help the rest of us dig out. How do you get out of that? How do you move to your next level? It starts with your mind, right? And everyone says that it starts with your mind. You have to think differently. Yes, you think differently, but you have to take action. You don't need more money. You need a different strategy. And what we're here today is to give you that strategy. So if you sign up for the Financial Confidence Strategy Challenge, it's going to help put you on the path so that you can move to your next level. So bit.ly, Financial Strategy.
I'm sorry, go ahead and say it again. I cut you off.
No problem. bit.ly/Financial Confidence Strategy. And we can type that into the chat beneath this video as well. But guys, it's time out for play.
It is. And I think two things that you have to keep in mind is, if you can invest in getting your nails and your hair done every 2 weeks, that's the same money you can use to invest somewhere else. Number one. And then number two, we often say, and I was guilty of this, Lynn. If I make more money, then I'll be okay. And girl, when I made one, I got another zero on that paycheck. Nothing changed. I was still having the exact same problem I was having when I didn't have that zero on my check. And so it is your mindset that has got to change when you start this journey.
Absolutely. If you can't make money without money, you can't make money with money.
That's right.
You need to start somewhere. Start today. There's no excuse, guys. There's absolutely no excuse.
All right, guys, we had the quote for today was 3 life rules. If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. And we got Lynn and me here to ask all the questions you want. If you don't step forward, you will always be in the same place. Always. So today I want you guys to make a decision for yourself. So oftentimes we make a decision for our spouse, our children, our parents, our immediate situation. We're always making a decision for other people instead of ourselves. So today I encourage you to make a decision for yourself. What are you willing to invest in for yourself? What are you worthy of? The different mindset, the different lifestyle, the different financial freedom. You have to make that for yourself. And every day we are making decisions for other people. I have a daughter in college and one in middle school, and I want to buy a house. And guess who I'm making a decision for? The one in middle school, because I want to make sure she goes to the best high school. Like, that's crazy. We try to make decisions for everyone else around us but ourselves. But we've got to start with ourselves so that our decision can greatly affect the others around us. It's not the other way around. We shouldn't make decisions for them and then we have to deal with the consequences. We set up the best situation, make the best decision, and then it can greatly affect those around us. So guys, I encourage you today to decide, what are you going to make a decision for yourself today? If it's to live past crazy, yesterday I talked about that foundation and having that foundation set. I used the analogy, I bought a mattress, and I was so ready to sleep on the mattress. I didn't wait on the box spring. I just put it on top of my old one, and I haven't slept good at all. And it made me think that if you can get all the information you want, we can give you all the great tips, but if your foundation is not set, you're not going to have peace, you're not going to sleep, it's not going to be well, it's going to be wobbly, and guess what? You still going to be uncomfortable. You still going to be where you are today. So that 3 life rule, step 3, if you don't step forward, you will always be in the same place. So today, I hope you, I'm in Lynn's 4-day challenge, so I'll be in the Facebook group today. I hope you guys have joined it, because it's time to make a change. And if we make a change, here it is, Lynn. I know Lynn can attest to this. She's affected her whole family with her investing. When you make the decision for yourself and start doing it, your family and your children are paying attention. And when you make it seem easy, they automatically pick up on it. You know, and you'll find yourself talking about it and sharing it with them. And next thing you know, you guys are all investing together.
Right.
So I encourage everybody, sign up, take those steps you need today. Lynn, you want to tell everybody where to find you at?
Yes, guys,
Absolutely.
You can find me, of course, here on Facebook, but you can find me at my website. My website is demonsenterprise.com. There's no www on that. That's demonsenterprise.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at DemonsSpeak. Demons is spelled, of course, DEMMONS. No demons, just demons. All right.
All right, guys, you can find me at BAFearless.com and on all social media by my first name, which is just Yamitra JoJo. So you can find me there. So if you guys have any questions, Lynn, did you freeze? Lynn? I hope she didn't freeze. Anyway, guys, I hope you catch the replay today to get Lynn's tips on investing. Let me add her back. Hold on, because I know she got something extra she want to say. Make sure you listen to the replay to get all of her great tips about investing today, so that you have what you need to get started. Lynn is not letting me add you back for some reason. There you, hold on. Let me see, Lynn. But make sure you check her out today. If you have not joined her 4-day challenge, it is still out there. We're just on day 2, how to maximize your take-home pay. I'll let her give you the site soon as she comes back in, and then we'll type it in the comments below. But guys, I encourage you to make a decision for yourself. Again, the quote for the day is the 3 life rules. If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask the question, the answer will always be no. And if you don't step forward, you will always, always be in the same place. So make the decision for yourself, not your children, not your spouse, not your parents. Well, spouse, you got to kind of work with that. But make the decision for yourself today that you're going to do something different, that you're going to invest in yourself. As a single mother, there were all the time decisions are made for my children or my parents or somebody else. So make sure that you're making that decision for yourself today. All right, guys, make sure you share the video, go back and watch the replay, and get Lynn's tips about investing. So that you can get your day started. Start the research today, and then make sure you join the 4-day challenge so that you can get part 2 today, which is maximize your take-home pay. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great Take Action Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow for Hump Day Wednesday. All right, guys. Thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. Have a good day. Bye.